going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Neosynthesis coming at you with something a little bit different. I got in front of a camera not too long ago and talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit and didn't do well, but I just want to keep at it because I don't know, I feel comfortable in front of the camera and I feel like this is an easier way for me to express my thoughts than, you know, maybe an edited video of me on my computer, or I just feel like it feels more genuine. And you can kind of, and I can kind of make it a better video. So this video is actually going to be about 3 cards that I think are worth considering for your main or side deck. You know, I'll talk about the cards as we get into them, but considering for your main or side deck this weekend in an event. I don't know what you're going to be playing. You'll be playing in a regional, a locals, a case tournament, anything in between. And I don't even know if there's a YCS this weekend. There might be one in Peru. Double check on that one. But these are 3 cards that I think deserve a little bit more consideration than maybe you had given them initially. Cards that, you know, maybe aren't in everyone's deck, but, you know, perhaps, you know, try them. First card that I want to talk about is actually going to be Crossout Designator. Forgive my horrible handwriting, but just kind of so you guys can see it. Oh, I think it might be mirrored, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the first card's Crossout. I think Crossout is in an interesting spot this format because so many of the decks are playing the same kind of 9 hand traps. They're playing the 3 Nibiru, the 3 Ash, and the 3 Imperm. 2 of those can't even be called by the grave. So players that are looking for interaction against hand traps are kind of in a weird place where they're not exactly sure what to do. But if you're playing hand traps already in your deck, you know, why not just try Crossout Designator? You don't have to try 3 copies. You could just do 2. I wouldn't do 1. It's a little bit inconsistent, but 2 or 3 copies in your deck. You know, you can cross out. If you're playing Kashtira, it's like pretty good on the like play because you can set it going first and have it be an interruption versus, you know, your opponent's Kashtira cards, assuming they're playing Kashtira. Or like, you know, any mirror match is going to be good if you set it going first. Going second, obviously, it's fine to stop like, you know, the Ash or the Imperm or the Nibiru that they might have going second, and then like obviously going first. The idea of the card, like the main idea of the card, if they have disruption, is that you can, you know, stop it, like stop the Nibiru, stop the Ash, stop the Imperm. And then, like I said, you know, if you're going first and they don't have a disruption for you, you might just set it and be able to cross out like Triple Tactics Talon or Thrust, depending on what's in your deck. But I think Crossout is something you should consider. Like I said, I think the reality of Call by the Grave being so bad really is kind of making people look for more ways to interact with hand traps. I think Crossout Designator is definitely one you should be thinking about. Next card on my list is Forbidden Chalice. I think Forbidden Chalice is actually, so I think effect negation, like single effect negation is really good this format. You know, obviously, so pretty much everyone and their mother is on Infinite Impermanence, and for good reason. Obviously, the card performs extremely well. Because a single effect negation can really make like a huge difference in this format. Because, you know, what are the main decks? It's Sprite, Despia, and Kashtira. Like being able to stop one Kashtira effect whenever is really good. Like obviously, if you go first and you draw, Chalice, setting it is the same as setting an Imperm almost. Actually, it's a little bit better than setting an Imperm because you have the flexibility of the 400 attack gaining. You have the additional ability to use the card in the damage step, so you can stop. You can like get around an effect that would not negate the activation, and, you know, just completely circumvent a negation. The card is just really strong. You know, people were playing it back when Despia was the best deck because, you know, they don't really put all of their cards on the table. They kind of, you know, one at a time, and having the Chalice for the Mirror Jade or, you know, the Lubellion or whatever you're chalicing, it's critical and it's really nice. The other reason people were playing it back then is because of draw phase shenanigans with DP and Scythe. Being able to chalice that was super important. Kind of similar stuff this format with Kashtira. Like the Kashtira cards are going to be doing stuff on your turn, and you know during the standby phase or whenever the card summons the Kashtira from the deck, you can chalice that there, which is super clutch. I mean, obviously Imperm works the same way, but more copies of Imperm seems pretty good to me. It's not quite Impermanence, but I think it has some other niches and just good uses in general. Like there's the other thing is Effect Veiler is just not really available to be playing in this format because it doesn't work. It doesn't work, any other time aside from your opponent's main phase, which is just very restrictive in general. It's always kind of been a downside of Effect Veiler that you've had to contend with. Chalice doesn't have any problems negating any time. Obviously it's on the field during your opponent's turn, in your hand during your turn, but it also works under macros, which I don't believe Effect Veiler does because Effect Veiler needs to be sent to the graveyard. So that's why I think Chalice is just in a really great spot in this format and something you should consider even for maybe your main deck. And then the last card I will mention is actually Ghost Belle and Haunted Mansion. I think Belle has got like more game this format than people are willing to give it credit for. You can stop Big Welcome Labyrinth against the Lab deck, which is pretty popular right now. Sprite Double Cross, you can stop that with the card. Sprite is pretty good. This format's still one of the better decks. And Chalice also pretty good against Gigantic Sprite. And then obviously branded Belle's always been a thorn in the side of that deck. Branded Red, branded Explosion. It's either Explosion or Banishment or Blast. I mean, there's so many of them of the different branded cards now that I kind of can't keep them all straight. But there's enough to Belle in that deck that makes it worth it. Obviously Bystials, you can Belle Bystials. So I just think that Belle, and also the other thing is eventually if people do move on to Cross Out Designator, people probably won't have Belle in their main deck, so they won't be able to cross out it. Or maybe even in their side deck. But I do think Belle's more of a side deck option because it really underperforms versus the Kashtira deck. But I don't know. Maybe you could find a place for it in the main deck. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think about these more like off the cuff. Not really off the cuff. Face to face, in person videos. I have fun making them, so I probably will keep making them regardless. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe you were considering these cards already. Maybe you had some more that I didn't talk about in this video. If you did, I'd love to know them. I'm always trying to keep up with the meta and try to find out what other people are playing. But anyway, without any further ado, it's been your boy Neosynthesis. Peace.